Stand-up electric scooters have been a point of controversy since they first came to Denver last year. But city leaders hope these new rules will fix some of these problems. According to Denver police, there have been 53 crashes involving scooters. Of those, only 25 have involved cars. One person has been killed. It's hard to pin down the number of injuries. Swedish Medical Center's parent company estimates the hospital sees 20 scooter-related injuries a week. At this point, Denver police officers have handed out just 19 tickets to people on scooters. Those include DUIs, careless driving, or not obeying traffic signals. DPD says its first focus will be to train its officers how to properly enforce these new rules, meaning possibly more tickets and hopefully fewer crashes, making Denver streets safer. Jordan Chavez, 9 News.
Jordan looks like he knows what he's doing. Okay, there is one exception to these new rules. Similar to bikes, scooters will only be allowed on sidewalks if they're moving 6 miles per hour or less, and only when they're within a block of starting or stopping.